Count of Vice Apothecary, looked after by Raven Destiny. We have a friend that you cannot see. You hear? I don't know if you can hear. She's demanding to say hi. Already ran an ad. Why is it trying to run again? So we're gonna have an ad. That's gonna happen. I'm gonna take off this. You're not going outside, so you're gonna be fine. Listen, try it again. I'm sorry, but this is lovely. Kitty. You know how distractible Raven is? It's so much worse right now. Take a little whoop on that kitty. Everybody get your person. The ad is about to start, so there's your warning. There is ad incoming. And we might as well disable stretching and posture check because I can't move anymore. It's illegal. I have a cat on my lap. Oh, such a sweet little lady. You're not late, Adon. I don't take attendance. The ad still says starting soon. I don't know what that's about. It's still not going yet. I am now property of the kitty. You are absolutely correct, Atuli. Oh, there's that. Oh my goodness. And she's still kind of moving around, just wanting to get snuggly. Pick a spot and stay. It's hard to sit on deer legs, I know. Okay, are you good there? Okay. Where are rats? You're very correct. Here's rats. They're still loud. But now I won't touch them anymore because the big noise will be over. And I tried to figure out chat, but I couldn't get it to work. I don't know what that's about. Oh well. We've got this. What's that? Oh no, no scratch. Okay. I got a kitty on my lap. I got the stream running. The ad was being a little shit again. I don't appreciate that. Oh, we've got a 16, good roll, and then we got a 5, not so good roll. 89% love. That's what we want to see. That's the right numbers. Love bot. Gosh, you're so loud. I don't know if she'll stop worrying, but I'm gonna have so much fun. Okay. With that, Raven, can you I don't do it well, no. I don't think I can. We've got this lady to fur for us for now. Say something. That'll be enough for now, hopefully. Hi, Josh. Okay. We're all set up. Are y'all ready for some stories? That's not me purring. It's not. Not a purr. It's just a kitty. Very happy little kitty. Oh, I'm so. It's just a kitty. Cannot be ignored, kitty. Ah, listen. Oh, okay. I kitty. Okay, okay. I just love having a furry animal to cuddle now. Frogs aren't as cuddly. They're lovely, but they're people that are frogs for the most part, and so it's a bit weird, and they're slimy. So hey, 99% love. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And 78% Riz. That's nice. I like it. We like it. But Lahong, why you gotta bonk? Why you gotta be so violent? Ah, okay. I'm going to do. Wait, no, 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 no. Fine. Bye, ma'am. Mm. I moved too much. Sad. No longer unlocked. We do have the story, but there we go. So we are reading more from the Indian fairy book, and this is. I need the music just a little bit quieter. There, that's all the music we need. Thank you. I have next story. It's White Feather and the Six Giants. Woohoo! Where is our friend Bububus? What? Who is Bubububus? Hmm? Hmm? Oh! Do you guys want me to find him? I can go find. You're the one saying I'm turning into a guy, but you didn't see. I can. Okay, a warning. I'm going to do loud noises, and we're gonna be right back. Is what I'll do while I go find. I am back. I have Skrunkle. He took a minute to find the big man. It is the big man. It's good to see you, sir. I guess you hang out here, so I'll let you hang out. Don't be weird, okay? We don't really know each other, so this is a bit of an interesting quest. What the heck, Lark? Why? Okay, yeah, you have 1% riz with the thing after that. Hi, DJ. Oh, dude, hydrate. No, wizard. I don't wear a freaking hat. No, it's not mine. I have brought to you your friend, Big Chungo. It's not mine. He's not my friend. He's just a guy that's here now. Big Buck Bunny Skrunkle is our guest. Oh no. Rice Cake These Nuts. Welcome in. Thank you for the follow. I always say everybody's name, so I have to say that. But, you know, maybe we don't want to encourage these nut jokes with this particular group. They'll be saying it all day. Oh, wow, look at that. Same amount of love. That's interesting. But, Diva, that's incorrect. There's more love than that, even. But, Honk and Violetta, I don't know. Peak comedy. That's lies, Pet. It's definitely lies. The wiki. I control that. Live with it. Suffer. Okay, I was gonna read, so let's freaking read. Alright? Let's go. Settle in. Get used to winking. Skrunkle dude. I hope you like stories too. Damn, does it jiggle? Yes, he do be jiggling. Look at that. Boy. Okay, here's the story. Alright. White Feather and the Six Giants. Oh, Skrunkle, you're kind of in the way of the story. Maybe it should be just a little more. Is that better? Yeah, this better. Okay. There is an old man living in the depth of a forest with his grandson, whom he had taken in charge when quite an infant. So, old man with his grandson. Cool. Can you raise your volume? Oh, sorry. See, it says that it's good volume, but I'll put it here. Yeah, I have a feeling it's inconsistent. Some people can hear quite well, but some people can't. With this mic, I don't get it. I'm not used to it. I hope you can hear better now. Okay, here we go. Yeah, the old man with his grandson. The child had no parents, brothers, or sisters. They had all been destroyed by 6 large giants, and he had been informed that he had no other relative living beside his grandfather. The band to whom he had belonged had put up their children on a wager in a race against those of the giants and had thus lost them. What? You're just like, okay, yeah, we'll gamble our kiddos. Let's go. What? You hear the winking? Shut up, little honk. No, you don't. I know you don't. Winking is a little out of control, though. I'll admit there is a lot of it. Okay. Who is who? Hmm? Who is that? Oh, this is a big buck bunny Scrunkle. Yes, that's the full name. Yes, right, sir. Okay. Um, and this is Violet Spellcraft's friend. And since we're in her apothecary, her folks can show up. Everybody was like, "Hey," accusing me of turning into Vi. But then somebody asked, "But, but where's Scrunkle?" And I'm like, "There's only more Vi." But I went looking for him, and here he is now. Good to see you. Don't mind him. He'll just jiggle in the corner. Oh, oh yes, the band wagered their children. And the band wagered their children. And I guess that's how that goes. Is he squishy? I'm not gonna grab him. We don't even know each other. Don't sit that. We had rats, but somebody wanted to see Scrunkle, so now we have Scrunkle. We'll do rats, maybe SCP read. Okay. Another hydrate. Okay. Oh, dang. I didn't click those away. I have done the hydrates. Let me focus. Come on, guys. Dropping Vi's Dussy. we're, we're slowly pretending I am Vi. I don't like it. I'm not Vi. I'm just in Vi's house. We're in the apothecary while she's not. We're not allowed to touch any of the potions and the such. Okay. Rat's birthday remix is an amazing song. Ooh, I will have to ask Vi about that later. Okay, let me focus. Right, they were gambling the children and lost them. There was an old tradition in the tribe that one day it would produce a great man who would wear a white feather and who would astonish everyone by his feats of skill and bravery. The grandfather, as soon as the child could play about, gave him bow and arrows to amuse himself with. He went into the edge of the woods one day and saw a rabbit. No, okay, not you. Okay, good. But not knowing what it was. Oh, true, it's a rabbit, and you're a rat, bit, right? You're part rat, right? You know, we don't need to talk blood quantum and such. Okay, but not knowing what it was, he ran home and described it to his grandfather. He told him what it was, that its flesh was good to eat, and that if he would shoot one of his arrows into its body, he would kill it. The boy went out again and brought home the little animal which he asked his grandfather to boil, that they might feast on it. Are you cool hearing this story? Like it's not you, but it it do be someone maybe maybe you don't like to hear this, but oh, I just read ahead that I see kill deer, so I mean I'm in a similar boat. I'm not a deer, but okay. I'm not winking at the bunny. Don't think I'm flirting with you, Scrunkle man. I'm not. No, this definitely no. Okay. Anyway, yeah, Vi's background is so pretty. It's really a pretty apothecary. It's very nice. Okay. Right. So he wants grandfather to boil a rabbit. He humored the boy in this, and he encouraged him to go on in acquiring the knowledge of hunting until he could kill deer and the larger kinds of game, and he and he became, as he grew up, an expert hunter. Okay, good job, little dude. Oh, sorry, had to cough. As they lived alone and away from other Indians, the curiosity of the stripling was excited to know what was passing in the world. One day he came to the edge of a prairie, where he saw ashes like those at his grandfather's lodge and lodge poles left standing. He returned and inquired whether his grandfather had put up the poles and made the fire. He answered no, nor did he believe that he had seen anything of the kind. He must have lost his senses to be talking of such things. No, I didn't make that. Clearly, you're crazy, young man. Said, what? Oh, oops. No, don't do that. Found something. Go check it out. Or be very, very careful. I don't know, this could be the giants. Another day, the young man went out to see what there was within a day's hunt that was curious, and on entering the woods, he heard a voice calling out to him, "Come here, you destined wearer of the white feather." Ooh, I guess he's gonna be white feather. Ooh, ooh, ooh. "You do not wear it yet, but you are worthy of it. Return home and take a short nap. You will dream of hearing a voice, hearing a voice which will tell you to rise and smoke. You will see in your dream a pipe, a smoking stack, and a large white feather. When you awake, you will find these articles. Put the feather on your head, and you will become a great hunter, a great warrior, and a great man, able to do anything." That's not anything, one word, it's anything. "As a proof that these things shall come to pass, when you smoke, the smoke will turn into pigeons." Not 420. I'm assuming this is tobacco, because that's a ceremonial. It's a medicine. So not 420, but yeah, go. Go turn into a hunter, get a good smoke, and there you go. Hold on. How do I still have frogs in my throat? Jeez. Okay, and the smoke is going to turn into pigeons too. That's a fun trick. The voice then informed the young man who he was and made known the character of his grandfather, who was imposing upon him to serve his own ends. Grandfather's bad? What? No. Okay. The voice spirit then caused a vine to be laid at his side and told him that he was now of an age to avenge the wrongs of his kindred. What does that mean? Going against Granddad or going against giants? "When you meet your enemy," the spirit added, "you will run a race with him. He will not see the vine because it is enchanted. While you are running, you will throw it over his head and entangle him so that you will win the race." Long before his speech was ended, the young man had turned to the quarter from which the voice proceeded, and he was astonished to behold a man, for as yet he had never seen any human being beside his grandfather. As he looked more keenly, he saw that this man, who had the looks of great age, was wood from the breast downward. How did he pull that off? He's got a wooden body but regular head? Is that what you're saying? Okay. And that he appeared to be fixed in the earth. Oh, he's a tree. As his eyes dwelt upon the strange being, the countenance by degrees faded away, and when he advanced to the spot whence it had addressed him, it was gone. Okay, so it was stuck in the ground, and yet it could leave, just disappear. Weird. Oh, goodness. throat. Okay. I saw in the corner of my eye all the blinking. Just okay. I think it's because, like, when I smile, I squint a lot and then I turn my head a little bit and I can't tell what's happening. I don't know. Okay. He returned home, slept in the midst of his slumbers, as from the hollow of the air heard the voice, wakened and found the promised gift. His grandfather, when his attention was called to his awakening, was greatly surprised to find the youth with a white feather on his forehead and to see flocks of pigeons flying out of his lodge. When he remembered the old tradition and knowing that now the day when he should lose control of his charge had begun, he bitterly bewailed the hour. Possessed of his 3 magic gifts, the young man departed the next morning to seek his enemies and demand revenge. But does he even know who his enemies are? Like, oh, okay. I guess he does. The 6 giants lived in a very high lodge in the middle of a wood. He traveled on in good heart till he reached this lodge, where he found that his coming had been made known by the little spirits who carry the news. Okay. The giants hastened out and gave a cry of joy as they saw him drawing near. When he approached within hail, they began to make sport of him, saying, "Here comes the little man with the white feather who is to achieve such wonderful wonders." Is that supposed to be sarcastic, or why are they saying all the nice things? When, however, he had arrived among them, they spoke him fair, saying he was a brave man and would do brave things. Their object was to encourage him so that he would be bold to engage in some foolhardy trial of strength. Okay, so they were trying to be too nice so that he wouldn't do anything. Kuro Ukami? Yes. Kuro Ukami, welcome and thank you for the follow. Yes, see, we drop some dance emotes whenever somebody's new. So let's see. I will drop that one. Any dance emotes will do. So drop some dances. Welcome, welcome. Oh, okay. Well, thanks, Cage. Kuro Okami. Thank you. Wait, oh, I clicked. So now I cannot see. There we go. Former weave status coming in handy. I guess so. Okay. Without paying much heed to their fine speeches, Whitefeather went fearlessly into their lodge. Oh no. Big yawns. Okay. Fearlessly into their lodge, and without waiting for invitation, he challenged them to a foot match. They agreed, and as they said, by way of being easy with him, they told him to begin the race with the smallest of their number. Oh, thank you for the hydrate. Here we go. Right. Try not to do a big cough. Okay. The point to which they were to run was a peeled tree toward the rising sun, and went back to the starting place, which was a war club of iron. Whoever won this stake was empowered to use it in dispatching the defeated champion. If Whitefeather should overcome the first giant, he was to try the second, and so on, until they had all measured speed with him. By a dexterous use of the vine, he gained the first race, struck down his competitor, and cut off his head. they knew that that guy wouldn't be very speedy, so that guy literally was just killed outright. I guess that's a way to, make sure only the best of the best live on and like have kids to pass on the best traits. Like that is really awful. You giants, you're being kind of awful to yourselves. Come on. Okay. Cut off his head. The next morning he ran with the second giant, whom he also outran, killed, and beheaded. He went on in this way for the 5 mornings, always conquering by the aid of his vine and lopping off the heads of the vanquished giants. You like that? I'm telling you guys. I don't know what you guys are. I feel like I missed something. Oh, okay. The last of the giants who was yet to run with him acknowledged his power, but prepared secretly to deceive him. Well, of course. By way of parley, he proposed that Whitefeather should leave the heads with him, and that he would give him a handsome start for odds. Who says that he needs that? There's plenty on his side that he will do very well. Okay. This Whitefeather declined, as he preferred to keep the heads as trophies of his victory. Oh, okay. Oh, thank you. What is that? What is that a reference to? Why are you so surprised? I don't know what's happening, but I appreciate it. It's very, very nice for you anyway. Okay. Before going to the giant's lodge on the 6th morning, he met his old counselor in the woods. I'm guessing he means the grandfather, but it could have been the voice that helped him. I don't know. Oh yeah, no, it's the next. I just keep reading, Raven. Why do you do this? Standing rooted in the earth as before. There you go. Read the whole freaking sentence. Okay. He told Whitefeather that he was about to be deceived, that he had never known any other sex but his own, but that as he went on his way to the lodge, he would meet the most beautiful woman in the world. Well, again, he's never seen any woman, so who knows? Like, it could have been anything, anyway. He must pay no attention to her, but as soon as he caught her eye, he must wish himself changed into an elk. The change would take place immediately, and he must go on. He must go to feeding and not look at her again. Oh, okay. Do we think he's gonna fail and end up stuck, or is he gonna succeed and avoid the problems? I don't know. If this was from the general fairy tales, I'd say, oh, he's failing. He's totally gonna. He's gonna. Good. But who knows? Okay. It's 11 p.m. and I feel sleepy. Dark storm, it's 12. I guess midnight for you. Wow, both of you, go bed and sleep. I get not wanting to miss streams, but you only get one body and you should take care of it. Yes. There you go. Just entirely that. Take care of yourselves. Okay. Big yawn. Oh. Had to check. There is no kid. Is left. What is sleep? Sleep is necessary. Sleep is lovely. Sleep is what I like to make you guys do, because this is supposed to be a cozy little stream to help you sleep. Oh, I think Adon was saying that he's gonna be here at the 4 a.m. stream, but no. Go sleep. Go eat. Okay. Right. Alright, so he's been told Whitefeather has been told to turn into an elk and don't look at the woman. Whitefeather thanked his kind advisor, and when he turned to take his leave, he was gone as before. So again, as he went to say goodbye to the guy, he was already gone. He proceeded toward the lodge, met the female as had been foretold to him, and became an elk. I know this is an old story and the such, but like, ugh, don't refer to a human woman as the female, please. They refuse to eat. I know, it's so rude. Why do you do this? Okay, Okay, so he did become an elk. Did good. Okay. She reproached him that he had cast aside the form of a man that he might avoid her. I have traveled a great distance, she added, to see you and to become your wife, for I have heard of your great achievements and admire you very much. I guess, she said. Now this woman was the 6th giant who had assumed this disguise to entrap Whitefeather. Without a suspicion of her real character, he reproaches, and her beauty affected him so deeply that he wished himself a man again, and he at once resumed his natural shape. Dude, you were so close. Oh, dang it. So he did fail. Yeah. Okay. They sat down together, and he began to caress and to make love to her. Soothed by her smiles and her gracious manners, he ventured to lay his head on her lap, and in a little while he fell into a deep slumber. Even then, such was her fear of Whitefeather, she doubted whether his sleep might not be feigned. To assure herself, she pushed his head aside, and seeing that he remained unconscious, she quickly assumed her own form as the 6th giant, took the plume from the brow of Whitefeather, and placed it upon his own head, and with a sudden blow of his war club changed him into a dog, in which degraded form he followed his enemy to the lodge. While these things were passing, there were living in an Indian village at some distance 2 sisters, the daughters of a chief, who were rivals, and they were at that very time fasting to acquire power for the purpose of enticing the wearer of the white feather to visit their lodge. They each secretly hoped to engage his affections, and each had built a lodge in the border of the village encampment. Ooh. Okay, so Whitefeather got tricked, had some fun with the lady that's actually the giant, and then the giant took the feather and turned somebody into a dog. I think it's Whitefeather is a dog, and Whitefeather followed the giant back to the lodge, but I can't totally tell. We're gonna find out. And then these 2 ladies nearby, they're like, we've heard about Whitefeather and we gotta make sure we entice him. Let's make pretty lodges. Okay. The eldest daughter had prepared her lodge with great show and all the finery she could command so as to attract the eye. The youngest touched nothing in her lodge, but left it in its ordinary state. The eldest went out to meet the giant and invited him in. He accepted her invitation and made her his wife. The youngest sister invited the enchanted dog into her lodge, prepared him a good supper and a neat bed, and treated him with much affection. I got a cough. Okay, so yes, the giant is the one with the feather right now, and the dog was white feather. Sorry, just transformed. And when they went to the lodge, they went, I guess, to these ladies. The younger sister with the plain lodge is the one that took in the enchanted dog. So the elder sister with the fancier lodge, she's got the guy that looks like White Feather right now, but he's the giant. He's the bad guy. And they got married, I guess. But the younger sister, she's got the real White Feather, even though he's a dog right now. Okay. The giant, supposing that whoever possessed the white feather possessed also all its virtues, went out upon the prairie to hunt, hallooing aloud to the game to come and be killed. But the great hubbub he kept up scared them away, and he returned at night with nothing but himself, for he had shouted so lustily all day long that he had been even obliged to leave the mighty halloo with which he had set out behind. See, Raven is a national treasure. What? Random sweet. Which nation? You say national treasure. Which nation? Okay. And to leave the halloo behind. The dog went out the same day hunting upon the Frog Nation? Oh, yes. Okay. The dog went out the same day hunting upon the banks of a river. He stole quietly along to the spot, and stepping into the water, he drew out a stone, which instantly became a beaver. The next day the giant followed the dog, and hiding behind a tree, he watched the manner in which the dog hunted in the river, when he drew out a stone, which at once turned into a beaver. "Aha!" said the giant to himself, "I will catch some beaver for myself." And as soon as the dog had left the place, the giant went to the river and imitating the dog, he drew out a stone and was delighted to see it, as soon as it touched the land, changed into a fine, fat beaver. Tying it to its belt, he hastened home, shouted a good deal, and brandishing the white feather about as if he were prepared now to show them what he could do when he once tried. When he reached home, he threw it down, as is the custom, at the door of the lodge before he entered. After being seated a short time, he gave a dry cough and bade his wife bring in his hunting girdle. She made dispatch to obey him, and presently returned with a girdle with nothing tied to it but a stone. The next day the dog, finding that his method of catching beavers had been discovered, went to a wood at some distance and broke off a charred limb from a burned tree, which instantly became a bear. The giant, who appeared to have lost faith in his hullabalooing, had again watched him, did exactly as the dog had done, and carried a bear home. But his wife, when she came to go out for it, found nothing but a black stick tied to his belt. How did he tie a bear to his belt? That's kind of big. Maybe because he's a giant. I don't know. Still. Mimic wood? No, I think there's some degree of magic, and maybe the feather is trying to do it, but it fails after a short amount of time when it's not on the right person. And White Feather himself has the ability, because he already wore the feather and he is the person for it. So when the giant gets it, he can kind of pull off the magic tricks a little bit, but it doesn't stick around. It fails after. But I think that that's what's happening. It's my guess. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so it happened with everything. Whatever the dog undertook prospered, whatever the giant attempted failed. Every day the youngest sister had reason to be more proud of the poor dog she had asked into her lodge. You asked the dog into your lodge? And every day the eldest sister was made more aware that though she had married the white feather, the virtues of the magic plume were not the personal property of the nosy giant. Sorry, not nosy, noisy giant. At last, the giant's wife determined that she would go to her father and make known to him what a valuable husband she had, and how he furnished her lodge with a great abundance of sticks and stones, which he would pass upon her for bear and beaver. So when her husband, whose brave halloo had now died away to a feeble chirp, had started for the hunt, she set out. I guess so she's gonna try and watch what he's doing. Elden Ring made me hate birds, so I never want to see a feather. Oh, sorry about that. You had made a couple references to Elden Ring, and then I tried to watch somebody play it, and it looks like fun, but I definitely wouldn't be able to play it. I'm not that I would not do well. I would fail very hard. Lahachka? Lahachka? Is that your name? Welcome, welcome. Thank you for your follow. Let's drop some dancey modes. Hi. Did I say it right? Tell me. Walk me through pronunciation. I always like to learn. Let's get some dances. Oop, 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 oop. Oh, look at those dances. One day you will play it. Maybe, maybe. We'll see. But no day will I do well on it. No day will I win. I don't think that's not one where you like complete and win it. But, like, yeah, I would not. No, I won't take down even one boss. I bet. I'd just skip around and keep dying. It'd be fine. Okay. Dip, 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 dip. Where was I? No, Lahonk, don't do it. Lahonk, I'm looking at you. Skrunkle is looking at you. Don't do it. Skrunkle, are you gonna? No, okay. He doesn't talk much, does he? Don't do it. Your stomach hurts? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh dear, yes, good. Be a gentleman. Mask Lahonk. I'm envisioning you guys across a very long table, and the distance is getting bigger and bigger, and you're just staring each other down, and then Lahonk just twirls a mustache. I zoom in on Raven's face, so I forgot about Jigglypuff and Rabbit. I gotta tell him hi, that's what you called him. And apparently he's not just rabbit, he's also rat. So rat bit, I guess. I don't know. We're mob bosses. Your rival mob bosses. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. Who are your little underlings? Like, you know, the guys are good. You got it, boss. Those kind of little guys. What is he? Who's it? Rat? No, not tit. He's not bird. It's not a tit. It's a bit. Rat bit. All it takes is one wrong step for a full violent step. I know. Be my henchman. Anybody that's on the bonk side, that's in that crime family with Lahonk. But who's on Mask's team? Oh, Blue Ted. I've seen those. Yeah. Pretty bird. Pretty bird. Pretty bird. Lahonk. Okay, henchman. Bonk back. Do the henchman. Make yourself useful and do a hench. Sorry. I'm on team neutral. Yeah, we're on team just eating popcorn, watching it go down. How dare you? My mask, you didn't act fast enough, Don. You've been slapped. No. 3 guns. Ooh, get him. Get him, Larry. Why Larry? Who's Larry? Oh no. This is lovely. Yeah, just eat our popcorn. No one slaps my boys but me. Okay. Alright. I'm gonna keep reading and I'm gonna let you guys duke it out. See whoever's still standing when I'm done the story. Okay. My cheeks gonna hurt. Okay. So, right. The giant's wife told on him to her dad and says, okay, we're leaving. That is one chunky bunny. Yeah, and it's not even my bunny. This is Big Buck Bunny Scrunkle, a regular of Violet Spellcrafts, who we are in her apothecary right now. But I'm Raven, and I'm normally not here. I'm normally at my lake, but we're here at the apothecary. Welcome to the the apothecary. Exactly, Mask. Exactly. Thank you for the follow, Night Wolf. Welcome in. Thank you. Let's get some dances. Yeah. Hell? Oh no, that's high with exclamation points. It's hard to read. Don't judge me. Let's get some dances. And there we go. We drop dance emotes whenever someone new is joining us. Raven are your antlers made of chocolate? No. They're antler. Cage plays no violence. Yep. Cage is just thinking about bees, I guess. I don't. No one slaps my boys but me. And oh, pride. You're thinking gay. Honestly, hail can mean high. True. You're very correct. Can I try some of the potions? No, I'm not authorized to touch any of the potions. So do the promise. For Raven gets me. I get you. Okay, I need to read. Hail, traveler. Yes. Okay. Sorry. All right. Right. Oh, the giant's wife is like, I don't think he's who he thinks it is, or who we thought he was. I'm gonna tell him my dad, and I'm gonna watch him go hunt. I'm gonna find out what he do. As soon as these two had gone away from the neighborhood, the dog made signs to his mistress. His mistress? It's just the lady that was in charge, I guess. To sweat him? What do you mean to sweat him? After the manner of Indians. What does that mean? Okay. To go into sweat lodge? What do we? Yeah, I guess so. Made the lodge a sweat lodge. Nice. He had always been a good dog, and she was willing to oblige him. She accordingly made a lodge just large enough for him to creep in. She then put in heated stones and poured water upon them, which raised a vapor that filled the lodge and surged with its warmth to the very heat's core of the enchanted dog. Don't eat Raven's antlers. Yet don't try. It will hurt you. You're not going to be able to bite. It's a bad move. Okay. When this had been kept up for the customary time, the enchanted dog was completely sweated away, and in his stead, as might have been expected, out came a very handsome young man, but unhappy, without the power of speech. And taking away the dog, it appears that the sweating lodge also carried off the voice with it. Oh no! They managed to get rid of the dog, but they sweat too much and took the voice. Meantime, the elder sister had reached her father's, and with much circumstance and very long face, had told him how that her sister was supporting an idle dog, and entertaining him as her husband. In her anxiety to make known her sister's affairs and the great scandal she was bringing upon the family, the eldest forgot to say anything of the sticks and stones to which her husband brought home for bears and beavers. Okay, so I thought you had told him, but I guess you just planned to tell him, I guess. Okay. Fine. And just conveniently not gonna tell him, my sister's a mess. Don't worry, am also a mess, but we don't need to talk about that right now. Okay. The old man, suspecting that there was magic about her house, sent a deputation of young men and women to ask his youngest daughter to come to him and to bring her dog along with her. When the deputation reached the lodge, they were surprised to find, in the place of the dog, a fine young man. And announcing their message, they all returned to the old chief, who was no less surprised at the change. Yar, you've officially joined the side. Welcome aboard, Harry. Why are you naming them like this? You're a little scared in this chat. Oh, sorry, Dark Storm. Come eat popcorn with us. We'll stay safe. Oh, strawberries. Strawberries are good. Might taste good. No, the antlers will not. Wait, leave my strawberries alone. Oh, I see those. Oh, again with your fighting. Harry, Larry, we's gonna take over the... I gotta read this right. Harry, Larry, we's gonna take over the town in the name of the Emerald Lake. Right here on the team. It's just Long versus Mask, really, but slowly they're assembling minions. Inches. 9.25 out of 10. Well, to be fair, Cage, I am working with a handicap of the weird-ass Echo, which I'm doing pretty good in this stream to work around and not go crazy with. But it's not easy. I can't hear myself right, and it's really, like, off-putting. You're dropping out and make my own side. Who doesn't invade, but defends. Ooh. Betrayal. I'm Count Coffin Frog, and I protect the frogs and bonk the geese. Wait, don't come back! I'm just here to bonk. Yeah, we know, and that's a problem. Okay, I need to read. Jeez, alright. Okay, where were we? Oh yeah, everybody's like, whoa, wait a second, why is that not a dog? I thought that guy was a dog? Didn't you say he was a dog? I don't understand what's happening. And this chat ain't big enough for all of us. That gets it. I just realized I have so many bonk emotes. That's all. I need to... Oh my gosh, we're gonna have an ad in a couple of minutes. I still have so much story left. Oh no, actually not that much. Okay, so everybody shush. I'm gonna focus. No, everyone's no less surprised at the change. He immediately assembled all the old and wise heads of the nation to come and be witnesses to the exploits which it was reported that the young man could perform. The sixth giant, although neither very old nor very wise, thrust himself in among the relations of the old chief. When they were all assembled and seated in a circle, the old chief took his pipe and filled it and passed it to the Indians around to see if anything would happen when they smoked. They passed it on until it came around to the dog, who made a sign that it should be handed first to the giant, which was done. And the giant puffed with all his might, and shook the white feather upon his head, and swelled his chest, but nothing came of it, except a great deal of smoke. The dog then took it himself. He made a sign to them to put the white feather upon his head. This was no sooner done than he recovered his speech, and beginning to draw upon the pipe at the same moment, behold, immense flocks of white and blue pigeons rushed from the smoke. Bum-ba-dum. From that moment, the sixth giant was looked upon as an impostor, because he was, and as soon as Whitefeather had, at the request of the company, faithfully recounted his history, the old chief, who was one of the best-hearted magicians that ever lived, he's a magician, oh cool, ordered that the giant should be transformed into a dog, hey, and turned into the middle of the village, where the boys should pelt him to death with clubs. They have to pelt him to death? They already made him a dog. Couldn't that have been enough punishment? Okay, snooze. Also, what happened to that race? Couldn't we have done the race? No? Okay. Oh. Which being done, the whole 6 giants were at an end and never troubled that neighborhood again forever after. Oh, okay, Darkstorm, go. We'll see you again soon, I hope. And Max, you gotta go too? Okay. We will see you soon. I'm sorry I'm not paying attention to chat. I need to read. Running out of time before the ad. Okay. They were never bothered again. The chief then gave out a command at the request of Whitefeather that all the young men should employ themselves 4 days in making arrows. Whitefeather also asked for a buffalo robe. This he cut into thin shreds, and in the night, when no one knew of it, he went and sewed them about the prairie in every direction. Is this how we get little prairie dogs, baby? No? What? Oh. At the end of 4 days, he invited them to gather together all of their arrows and to accompany him in a buffalo hunt. When they got out, oh no, they turned into buffaloes. That's cool. When they got out upon the prairie, they found it covered with a great herd of buffaloes. Of these, they killed as many as they pleased, and afterward they had a grand festival in honor of Whitefeather's triumph over the giants. All this being pleasantly over, Whitefeather got his wife to ask her father's permission to go with him on a visit to his grandfather. I was going to ask what happened to grandfather. The old chief replied to this application that a woman must follow her husband into whatever quarter of the world he may choose to go. Bidding farewell to all his friends, Whitefeather placed the plume in his frontlet, and taking his war club in his hand, he led the way into the forest, followed by his faithful wife, Day End. So, we don't really know what happened to the grandfather, but they're going to see him. Okay. They should go to Shrek's swamp. Maybe they will. We don't know. You so silly. Okay, so now I'll read the chat. Are you part of the bonk side? And then just police emote. So I'm gonna guess no. That amount of bonks I do more than sleep. Yeah, you would maybe not wake up with the amount of bonks that Fat just dropped. Raven reads this and she isn't focused. Funny, I did see it, but I was like, if Raven was focused, I didn't see all the words, and I'm like, ignore it, you gotta focus. So I did it, I did good. Okay, then you head out. Fett is on the side of justice. And Darkstorm had to go. And make you laugh is the best. Aww, what? I keep doing it. These like little jokes. Okay, so there was our first story. And I'm gonna say, okay, that's the next one. Let's roll back up to the top. Let's do some redeems. I got whispers and a trigger word. I have to run an ad, and I think I might have to end up doing a quick BRB, but we'll find out in a minute. So let's do those trigger words first. First, and obviously very important.
Violet ash is stinky. 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 Violet
that was a long trigger word. I would not have said it. I disagree because I don't know what violet smell like. I'm sorry. It was from Redeem. Dude. Okay. And then we have I am Raven, Blade of the Frogs. My Emerald Lake has not known defeat, protected from the Hunk. I think I'm has not known defeat, protected from the Hunk. First time hearing Violetta, and all I hear is Stinky. The Hunk has gone to Stinky Jail more than me. I would not doubt that. Okay, I'm gonna run an ad. Here we go. The ad is running. If you can hear this, you must be subbed. Wahoo! Thank you for that. Oof. Okay. I think I will have to do a BRB actually. What do you mean you don't doubt it? Because I think you are stinky. I think you are stinky. No confirmations of that, but I still think probably. No, I think those are singable, obviously. Ah, dunking and bonking things. Sorry. Does it stink? I'm not sure. Survey says yes. Okay. Alright, so the next story is gonna be Sheem, the Forsaken Boy. Interesting. There's another channel with a sticky command, and it rolls 90% or above. You get timed out for 60 seconds. That is so silly. I love that. See, I'm so clean, it doesn't say stinky. Okay, I think I'm going to have to do a quick BRB, but when we're back, it will be Sheem. The Forsaken Boy. Oh, there's a comma in there, but anyway, okay. There's not really being much. Yeah, I understood this. It's Stinky Jail. I think we could do something like that. We could do a jail like that for a minute for something. I don't know if we do Stinky though. Okay. Oh, what the heck was that? I just barely did a thing. Okay. I will BRB and then we'll be reading the next story. Right. You still have time to do a couple of redeems if you want to, but I'd only do a couple more. Anyway. Okay, here we go. Whoosh. Hello, hello, I am back. We are back. And now... you leave again. Okay. Chaos time, riot. Oh my shit. As soon as you said riot, I heard a bang. At least it makes my heart beat. Welcome back, scatter! So I think the background, etc. is off center. I'm not in charge of this. I don't think I would fix it. Yeah, no, it's a bit small is what it is. Might do that. It's better. It's still not quite like that, but I saw aim it. Okay, so now we'll do Sheem the Forsaken Boy. I'm surprised that no one redeemed anything, but it's so good. You are in charge of it now. You know what? You're right. Okay, so let's do Sheem the Forsaken Boy. On a certain afternoon, the sun was falling in the west, and in the midst of the ready silence, a solitary lodge stood on the banks of a remote lake. Hey! One sound only broke, in the least degree, the forest stillness, the low breathing of the dying inmate, who was the head of a poor family. What? And are they sure they mean inmate? Like, is this a jail before? What's going on? Okay. His wife and children surrounded the buffalo robe on which he lay. One of the children, two were almost grown up, a daughter and son. The other was a boy and a mere child in years. Sorry, of the children, not one of the children. All the skill of the household in their simple medicines was exhausted, and they stood looking on or moved about the lodge with whispered steps, waiting for the departure of the spirit. As one of the last acts of kindness, the skin door of the lodge had been thrown back to admit the fresh air of the evening. The poor man felt a momentary return of strength, and raising himself a little, he addressed his family. I leave you, he said, in a world of care in which it has required all my strength and skill to supply you food, and to protect you from the storms and cold of a harsh climate. He cast his eyes upon his wife and continued, For you, my partner in life, I have less sorrow, because I am persuaded you will not remain long behind me. But you, my children, my poor and forsaken children, you have just begun the career of life. Who will shelter you from calamity? Listen to my words. Unkindness, ingratitude, and every wickedness are in the scene before you. It was for this that years ago I withdrew from my kindred and my tribe to spend my days in this lonely spot. I have contented myself with the company of your mother and yourselves during seasons of frequent scarcity and want, while your kindred, feasting in plenty, have caused the forest to echo with shouts of successful war. I gave up these things for the enjoyment of peace. I wish to hide you away from the bad examples which would have spoiled your innocence. I have seen you, thus far, grow up in purity of heart. If we have sometimes suffered bodily want, we have escaped pain of mind. We have not been compelled to look on or to take part with the red hand in scenes of rioting and bloodshed. My path now stops. I have arrived at the brink of the world. I will shut my eyes in peace if you, my children, will promise me to cherish each other. Let not your mother suffer during the few days that are left to her. Why is he so certain that she's going to die too? Anyway, and I charge you on no account to forsake your younger brother. Of him I give you both my dying command to have a tender care." He spoke no more, and as the sun fell out of view, the light had gone from his face. The family stood still as if they expected to hear something further. But when they came to his side and called him by name, his spirit did not answer. It was in another world. Oh, but I'm gonna mute and readjust. I must move. Chaos, I know, sorry. Okay. So he's gone. So sad. The mother and daughter lamented aloud, but the elder son clothed himself in silence, as though it had been a mantle, and to his course as though nothing had occurred. And to this course he exerted himself to supply, with his bow and net, the wants of the little household, but he never made mention of his father. 5 moons had filled and waned, and the 6th was near its full when the mother also died. In her last moments, she pressed the fulfillment of their father's wish. The winter passed. I'm glad I'm relaxing. How about you? I was just still picking up a whole sound of yawn when I'm too sensitive, this little mic, and yet I also can't hear everything from it. It's freaking weird. Okay. The winter passed, and the spring, sparkling in the clear northern air, cheered the spirits of the lonely people in the lodge. The girl, being the eldest, directed her brothers, and she seemed to feel a tender and sisterly affection for the youngest, who was still in frame of a delicate temper. The other boys soon began to break forth with restless speeches, which showed that his spirit was not at ease. One day he addressed his sister as follows. "My sister..." Okay, no. "My sister, are we always..." I tell you, I can't quite hear what's going on, and I realized what my face did, and that's the sound I made. I didn't even... This is not good. This echo is not good for me. I can't hear. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna... No. 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 I just can't talk and hear in this echo. It's... I'm gonna just keep moving on. "My sister, are we always to live as if there were no other human beings in the world? Must I deprive myself of the pleasure of mingling with my own kind? I have determined this question for myself. I shall seek the villages of men, and you cannot prevent me." The sister replied, "I do not say no, my brother, to what you desire. We are not forbidden the society of our fellow mortals, but we are told to cherish each other, and to do nothing that shall not be agreeable to our little household. Neither pleasure nor pain outright, therefore, to separate us, especially from our younger brother, who, being but a child and weakly withal, is entitled to a double share of our affection. If we follow our separate fancies, it will surely make us neglect him, whom we are bound by vows both to our father and mother to support." The young man received this address in silence, and still took his course as though nothing out of the ordinary way had occurred. After a while he seemed to recover his spirits, and they lived in a large country. As they lived in a large country where there were open fields, the two brothers, at his invitation, often amused themselves in playing ball. One afternoon he chose the ground near to a beautiful lake, and as they played and laughed with great spirit, and the ball was seldom allowed to touch the ground. Now, in this lake there happened to harbor a wicked old manito, Mishosha by name, who looked at the brothers as they played, and he was vastly pleased with their nimbleness and beauty. He thought to himself, "What shall I do to get these lads to accompany me? One of them shall hit the ball sideways, and it shall fall into my canoe." It so happened, and somehow seemed as if Owasso, the older brother, had purposefully given it that direction. When Owasso saw the old man, he professed to be greatly surprised, as was the other, Sheem by name, in truth, for he had not noticed the old manito before. Okay, so Owasso is the elder brother, Sheem is the younger brother. We don't know the sister's name, but then we also have Mishosha, the manito. "Bring the ball to us," they both cried out. "Come to the shore." "No," answered the old magician. He, however, came near enough for either of them to wade out to him. "Come, come," he said, "come and get your ball." They insisted that he should come ashore, but he sturdily declined to oblige them. "Very well," said Owasso, "I will go and get it," and he ran into the water. "Hand it to me," he said, when he had approached near enough to receive it. "Ha!" answered the manito, "reach over and get it yourself." "Oh no, I don't like this." Owasso was about to grasp the ball when the old magician suddenly seized him and pushed him into the boat. "Oh no!" Gary said, Hi, Gary. Okay, ah, sorry, big yawn. "My grandfather," said Owasso, "pray take my little brother also. Alone I cannot go with you. He will starve if I leave him." Mishosha only laughed at him, then uttering the charmed words, "Chemaun Pol," and giving his canoe a slap, it glided through the water without further help, with the stiffness of an arrow. So away they shot. I guess they just... In a short time they reached the magician's lodge, which stood upon the farther shore, a little distance back from the lake. The two daughters of Mishosha were seated within. "My daughter," he said to his eldest as they entered the lodge, "I have brought you a husband." The young woman smiled, for Owasso was a comely youth to look upon. The magician told him to take a seat near her, and by this act the marriage ceremony was completed, and Owasso and the magician's daughter were man and wife, and in the course of time they had borne to them a son. But no sooner was Owasso in the family than the old manito wished him out of the way, and he went about in his own wicked fashion to compass it. "What the hell? Oh, we gotta find I'm gonna steal this guy. I'm gonna get a husband for my daughters. Oh, and now your husband. Okay, get the hell out." Like, what? You did this. I did not choose this. You did this. Oh, okay. One day he asked his son-in-law to go out fishing with him. It's spelled A-fishing. They started without delay, for the magician had only to speak, and off went the canoe. They reached a solitary bay in an island, a very dark, lonely, and out-of-the-way place. The manito advised Owasso to spear a large sturgeon which came alongside, and with its great glassy eye turned up, seemed to recognize the magician. Owasso rose in the boat to dart his spear, and by speaking that moment to his canoe, Mishosha shot forward and hurled his son-in-law headlong into the water, where, leaving him to struggle for himself, he was soon out of sight. Jeez, this guy's bad. Owasso, being himself gifted with limited magical powers, spoke to the fish and bade him swim toward the lodge, while he carried him along, which he did at great speed. Okay, so he's hitching a ride with the fish. Once he directed the sturgeon to rise near the surface of the water, so that he might, if possible, get a view of the magician. The fish obeyed, and Owasso saw the wicked old manito busy in another direction, fishing, as unconcerned as though he had not just lost a member of his family. On went the fish, and on went Owasso, till they reached the shore, near the magician's lodge, in advance of him. He then spoke kindly to the sturgeon and told him he should not be angry with him for having speared him, as he was created to be meant for man. The sturgeon made no reply, or if he did, it has not been reported. I like this. He didn't say anything, or if he did, no one said he did. And Owasso, drawing him on shore, went up and told his wife to dress and cook it immediately. So he's like, "Oh, don't get mad when I kill you now." And if the fish said anything in response, we don't know. We don't care. Okay, cook this fish, he tells his wife. By the time it was prepared, the magician had come in sight. "Your grandfather has arrived," said the woman to her son. "Go and see what he brings, and eat this as you go," handing a piece of the fish. The boy went, and the magician no sooner saw him with the fish in his hand than he asked him, "What are you eating? Who brought it?" He replied, "My father brought it." The magician began to feel uneasy, for he found that he had been outwitted. He, however, put on a grave face, and entering the lodge acted as if nothing unusual had happened. Some days after this, Mishosha again requested that his son-in-law to accompany him, and Owasso, without hesitation, said yes, with an exclamation point. "Is that rabbit single?" "Oh, I do you want to say anything, Scrungle?" I don't think I have anything to say about the rabbit. I don't know what to say. Okay, back to the story, jeez. Owasso immediately says yes, and I'm sure that he will be attempted to be killed very soon again. Okay. Oh. Thank God. Okay. They went out, and in a rapid passage they arrived at a solitary island, which was no more than a heap of high and craggy rocks. The magician said to Owasso, "Go on shore, my son, and pick up all the gulls' eggs you can find." The rocks were strewn with eggs, and the air resounded with the cry of the birds as they saw them gathered up by Owasso. The old magician took the opportunity to speak to the gulls. "I have long wished," he said, "to offer you something. I now give you this young man. I have long wished to offer you something. I now give you this young man for food." He then uttered the charm to his canoe, and it shot out of sight, leaving Owasso to make his peace the best way he could. The gulls flew in immense numbers around him, and were ready to devour him. Owasso did not lose his presence of mind, but he addressed them and said, "Gulls, you know you were not formed to eat human flesh, nor was man made to be the prey of birds. Obey my words, fly close together, a sufficient number of you, and carry me on your backs to the magician's lodge." And they're gonna go along with that? Welcome. Thank you for the follow, Nitri Vespira. Tell me if that's not how you say your name. But welcome. Let's drop some dance emotes whenever we've got somebody new. We do some dances. Let's get a different dance. Been a minute since I did Party Parrot. I like Party Parrot. Dance. Okay. It's good. I know my name is kind of tricky. Hey, I like trying to figure that out. So if you want to try and drop the pronunciation, I will do my best to try it, and you can tell me I fail a bunch. It's all good. We're doing okay. I'm looking after my friend's Apothecary. This is Violet Spellcraft Vi's Apothecary. This is her big buck bunny Scrunkle, I believe is the full name, in the corner here. And yeah, it's a good time. Normally I'm at Emerald Lake, and I will be back next week from those streams. Okay, most people call me Nitri or Vespera. Well, alright. Is Nitri correct? Did I say it right? Hi, Nightly, welcome in. Okay, I keep reading. It's a single bunny. Can I take it to the bunny cafe? I don't think he leaves the forest, but again, it's not for me to say. Vi might have the better info on this guy. Yeah, and you sound cute saying it like that. Oh! I don't know what the like that means, but okay. I will say Nitri. Okay. Alright. Where? Oh yes. Owasso is convincing birds to fly him away. Oh boy. Okay. Fly me on your backs to the magician's lodge. They listened attentively to what he said, and seeing nothing unreasonable in his request, they obeyed him, and Owasso soon found himself sailing through the air swiftly homeward. Ooh. Yes, go ahead and tuck in, do a little lurk. Cozy. Okay. Meanwhile, it appears that the old magician had fallen asleep and allowed his canoe to come to a standstill. For Owasso, in his flight over the lake, saw him lying on his back in the boat taking a nap, which was quite natural as the day was very soft and balmy. As Owasso, with his convoy of birds, passed over, he let fall directly in the face of the old magician a capful of gull's eggs, which broke and so besmeared his eyes that he could barely see. He jumped up and exclaimed, "It's always so with these thoughtless birds. They never consider where they drop their eggs." I don't think those birds dropped eggs in his face. I would have imagined, bird poops. Because did he get shell in his eye? Would hurt, wouldn't it? I know. Okay. Was it really egg? Okay. Scrolly. Okay. Owasso had flown on and reached the lodge in safety. And, excusing himself for the liberty, he killed 2 or 3 of the gulls for the sake of their feathers to ornament his son's head. When the magician arrived soon after, his grandson came out to meet him, tossing his head about as the feathers danced and struggled with the wind. "Where did you get these?" asked Manito, "and who brought them?" I think "where did you get these" would, answer the question plenty. But okay. "My father brought them," the boy replied. The old magician was quite distressed in his mind that he had not destroyed his son-in-law. He entered his lodge in silence and set his wits busily at work again to contrive some plan for easing his feelings in that respect. He could not help saying to himself, "What manner of boy is this who is ever escaping from my power? But his guardian spirit shall not save him. I will entrap him tomorrow. Ha 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 ha!" It actually says "ha ha ha" with an exclamation point. This man literally did an evil laugh. I think they noticed. Okay. He was painfully aware that he tried 2 of his charms without effect, and that he had but 2 more left. He now professed to be more friendly with his son-in-law than ever, and the very next day he said to Owasso, "Come, my son, you must go with me to procure some young eagles. We will tame them and have them for pets about the lodge. I've discovered an island where they are in great abundance." They started on the trip, and when, after traversing an immense waste of water, they had reached the island, Mishosha led him inland until they came to the foot of a tall pine tree, upon which the nests were to be found. "Now, my son," said Mishosha, "where... I beg your answer. Now, my son," said Mishosha, "climb up this tree and bring down the birds. I think you will get some fine ones up there." Owasso obeyed. When he had with great difficulty got near the nest, Mishosha cried out, addressing himself to the tree, and without much regard to the wishes of Owasso, "Now stretch yourself up and be very tall." The tree at his bidding rose up so far that Owasso would have imperiled his neck by any attempt to get to the ground. Okay, so this tree is now so long, so tall, that if he tries to get down, if he tries to jump down or something like that, he will break his neck. "Listen, ye eagles," continued Mishosha, "you have long expected a gift from me. I now present you this boy, who has had the presumption to climb up where you are to molest your young. Stretch forth your claws and seize him." So saying, the old magician, according to his custom in such cases, turned his back upon Owasso, and going off in his canoe at a word, he left his son-in-law to shift for himself. But the birds did not seem to be so badly minded as the old magician had supposed, for a very old bald eagle, quite corpulent and large of limb, alighting on a branch just opposite, opened conversation with him by asking what had brought him there. Owasso replied that he had not mounted the tree himself, yes, he did, but not mounted the tree of himself, or out of any disposition to harm his people. Well, you were gonna steal them away, but okay. Wasn't to harm his people, that his father-in-law, the old magician who had just left them, had sent him up, that he was constantly sending him on mischievous errands. In a word, the young man was enlarging at great length upon the character of the wicked Manito, when he was interrupted by being darted upon by a hungry-eyed bird with long claws. "Hi, Sunny Waffle. Can I not use the adorable frog modes on other chats?" Yeah, the first 5, apparently you can't use them in other groups, which I don't understand. I don't understand how that doesn't work. I think it's like, so I've got them as free to everybody, but that means free in just this stream. And then the ones that you're subscribed to, you can use in other places. I don't get it. I don't know. Okay. Where was I? Oh. Hey, John, again. Okay. Alright, the bird with long claws. Owasso, not in the least disconcerted, boldly seized this fierce eagle by the neck and dashed it against the rocks, crying out, "Thus will I deal with all who come near me. Don't try and attack me, I'll smash you in a rock." The old eagle, who appeared to be the head of the tribe, was so pleased with this show of spirit that he immediately appointed 2 tall birds, uncommonly strong in the wings, to transport Owasso to his lodge. They were to take turns in conducting him through the air. Wow. A bird big enough to carry him. "Oh, you're fine. If I am responding, then I will, make that choice. You don't have to worry." The double wing. I'm sorry about the winking. I'm not in charge of this. Wait. There I was. Okay, sorry. Alright. Oh yes, he said, okay, he's gonna get a ride from them. Owasso expressed many obligations to the old eagle for his kindness, and they forthwith set out. It was a high point from which they started, for the pine tree had shot so far, far up toward the clouds that they could even descry the enchanted island where the old magician lived, though it was miles and miles away. For this point they steered their flight, and in a short time they landed Owasso at the door of the lodge. With many compliments for their dispatch, Owasso dismissed the birds. Oh, you weren't going to steal one? Okay. Dismissed birds and stood ready to greet his wicked father-in-law, who now arrived. And when he espied his son-in-law still unharmed, Mishosha grew very black in the face. But he had but a single charm left. Hold on. Oh, bad cough. I'm gonna yawn. Okay, so one charm left in the old man's little sleeve. Next. He thought he would ponder deeply how he could employ that to the best advantage, and it happened that while he was doing so, one evening as Owasso and his wife were sitting on the banks of the lake, the soft breeze swept over it. They heard a song as if sung by someone at a great distance. The sound continued for some time and then died away in perfect stillness. "Oh, it is the voice of Sheem," cried Owasso. "It is the voice of my brother. If I could but only see him." And he hung down his head in deep anguish. I was wondering why we have this is Sheem and not, Owasso, if we're following this, and what makes him, like, where does the title come from if we're just gonna ignore the family? But okay. His wife witnessed his distress, and to comfort him she proposed that they should attempt to make their escape and carry him succor on the morrow. When the morning came and the sun shone warmly into the lodge, the wife of Owasso offered to comb her father's hair, with the hope that it would soothe him to sleep. It had that effect, and they no sooner saw him in deep slumber than they seized the magic canoe. Owasso uttered the charmed words, Chamampol, and they glided away upon the water without need of oar or sail. They had nearly reached the land on the opposite side of the lake and could distinctly hear the voice of the younger brother singing his lament as before, when the old magician awakened. Missing his daughter and her husband, he suspected deception of some kind. He looked for his magic boat and found it gone. He spoke the magic words, which were more powerful from him than from any other person in the world, and the canoe immediately returned, to the sore disappointment of Owasso and his wife. When they came back to the shore, Mishosha stood upon the beach and drew up his canoe. He did not utter a word. The son-in-law and daughter entered the lodge in silence. The time, walking along in its broad open path, brought the autumn months to a close, and the winter had set in. Soon after the first fall of snow, Owasso said, "Father, I wish to try my skill in hunting. It is said there is plenty of game not far off, and it can now be easily tracked. Let us go." "Hello, Sam. Welcome in. And DJ, you're back. Great. Cozy. Come on in." The magician consented. They set out, and arriving at a good ground for their sport, they spent the day in hunting. Night coming on, they built themselves a lodge of pine branches to sleep in. Although it was bitterly cold, the young man took off his leggings and moccasins and hung them up to dry. The old man did the same, carefully hanging his own in a separate place, and they lay down to sleep. Owasso, from a glance he had given, suspected that the magician had a mind to play him a trick, and and to be beforehand with him, he watched an opportunity to get up and change the moccasins and leggings, putting his own in the place of Mishosha's, and depending on the darkness of the lodge to help him through. Near daylight, the old magician bestirred himself as if to rekindle the fire, but he slyly reached down a pair of moccasins and leggings with a stick, and thinking that they were no other than those of Owasso's, he dropped them into the flames, while he cast himself down and affected to be lost in heavy sleep. The leather leggings and moccasins soon drew up and were burned. Instantly jumping up and rubbing his eyes, Mishosha cried out, "Son-in-law, your moccasins are burning. I know that. I know it by the smell." Owasso rose up deliberately and unconcerned. "No, my friend," said he, "here are mine," at the same time taking them down and drawing them on. "It is your moccasins that are burning." Mishosha dropped his head upon his breast. All his tricks were played out. There was not so much as half of one left to help him out of the sorry plight he was in. Why did he want to get rid of this guy so much is the real question. "I believe, my grandfather," added Owasso, "that this is the moon in which fire attracts, and I fear you must have set your foot and leg garments too near the fire, and they have been drawn in. Now let us go forth to the hunt." The old magician was compelled to follow him, and they pushed out into a great storm of snow and hail and wind, which had come on overnight, and neither the wind, the hail, nor the snow had the slightest respect for the bare limbs of the old magician, for there was not the least virtue of magic in those parts of old Mishosha's body. After a while they quite stiffened under him. His body became hard, and the hair bristled in the cold wind, so that he looked to Owasso, who turned away from him, leaving the wicked old magician alone to ponder upon his past life. To Owasso he looked like a tough old sycamore tree more than a highly gifted old magician. Owasso himself reached home in safety, proof against all kinds of weather. What am I saying? My brain just left. I looked over and then I have no idea where I just was. Hold on. And proof against all kinds of weather, and the magic canoe became the exclusive property of the young man and his wife. Aha! Okay. During all this part of Owasso's stay at the lodge of Mishosha, his sister, whom he had left on the mainland with Sheem, their younger brother, had labored with good will to supply the lodge. She knew enough of the arts of the forest to provide their daily food, and she watched her little brother and tended to his wants with all of a good sister's care. By times she began to be weary of solitude and of her change. No one came to be a witness of her constancy or to let fall a single word in her mother tongue. She could not converse with the birds or beasts about her, and she felt to the bottom of her heart that she was alone. In these thoughts she forgot her younger brother. She almost wished him dead, for it was he alone that kept her from seeking the companionship of others. Why does it say that no one else can talk? How young is he? We know he started singing. Why isn't there her talking to him? Okay. Maybe it's just like he's young enough that it's not a proper conversation kind of a thing, but he is speaking. I don't know. One day, after collecting all the provisions she had been able to reserve from their daily use, and bringing a supply of wood to the door, she said to her little brother, "My brother, you must not stray from the lodge. I'm going to seek our elder brother. I shall be back soon." She then set the lodge in perfect order, and taking her bundle, she set off in search of habitations. These she soon found, and in the enjoyment of the pleasures and pastimes of her new acquaintance, she began to think less and less of her little brother Sheem. She accepted proposals of marriage, multiple? Oh, dang. And from that time she utterly forgot the abandoned boy. Oh no. Well, now the title makes sense. As for poor little Sheem, he was soon brought to the pinching turn of his fate. As soon as he had eaten all the food left in the lodge, he was obliged to pick berries and live off such roots as he could dig with his slender hands. As he wandered about in search of wherewithal to stay his hunger, he often looked up to heaven and saw the great clouds looking up and down, and then he looked about upon the wide earth, but he never saw his sister nor brother returning from their long delay. At last even the roots and berries gave out. They were blighted by the frost or hidden out of reach by the snow, for the midwinter had come on, and poor little Sheem was obliged to leave the lodge and wander away in search of food. Sometimes he was enforced to pass the night with the clefts of old trees or caverns, and to break his fast with the refuse meals of the savage wolves. So, leftover meat from wolf kills? Dang. These at last became his only resource, and he grew to be so little fearful of these animals that he would sit by them while they devoured their meat and patiently await his share. So he's essentially been taken in by wolves, little Sheem. Oh boy. Ah, ooh, thank you for the follow. Outie? Tell me how you say your name. I'd love to learn, but I'm guessing something like Outie. I drop a little dancey parrot. Because whenever we've got a new follow, we drop a little dance emote. Hi, welcome, welcome. Get cozy, settle in. I'm going to keep reading. But tell me how to say that. Yeah, okay. Really? Okay, perfect. Yay. Okay. After a while, the wolves took to little Sheem very fondly, and seeming to understand his outcast condition, they would always leave something for him to eat. Oh, nice wolves. By and by they began to talk with him and to inquire into his history. When he told them that he had been forsaken by his brother and his sister, the wolves turned about to each other, lifted up their eyes to heaven, and wondered among themselves with raised paws that such a thing should have been. In this way Sheem lived on until the spring, and as soon as the lake was free from ice, he followed his new friends to the shore. It happened on the same day that his elder brother Owasso was fishing in his magic canoe a considerable distance out upon the lake, when he thought he heard the cries of a child upon the shore. He wondered how many human creatures could exist on a bleak and barren coast. He listened again with all attention, and he heard the cry distinctly repeated, and this time it was the well-known cry of his younger brother that reached his ear. He knew too well the secret of his song, as he heard him chanting? Do we mean chanting? Mournfully. My brother, since you left me going in the canoe, I am half changed into a wolf, wee. I am half changed into a wolf, wee. Owasso made for the shore, and as he approached, the lament was repeated. The sounds were very distinct, and the voice wailing was very sorrowful for Owasso to listen to, and it touched him the more that it died away at the close, into a long-drawn howl like that of the wolf. In the sand, as he drew closer to the land, he saw the tracks of that animal fleeing away, and besides these, the prints of human hands. But what were the pity and astonishment that smote Owasso to the heart when he espied his poor little brother, poor little forsaken Sheem, half boy and half wolf, flying along the shore. Owasso immediately leaped upon the ground and strove to catch him in his arms, saying soothingly, my brother, come to me." But the poor wolf boy avoided his grasp, crying as he fled, Nisia, Nisia, since you left me going in the canoe, I am changed into a wolf, iwi. I am half changed into I am half changed into a wolf, iwi. I'm half changed into a wolf, iwi. And howling between these words of lament. He's howling between these. The elder brother, sore at heart, and feeling all his brotherly affection strongly returning, with renewed anguish cried out, My brother, my brother, my brother! But the nearer he approached to poor Sheem, the faster he fled, and the more rapidly the change went on, the boy wolf by turns singing and howling and calling out the name, first of his brother and then of his sister, till the change was complete. He leaped upon a bank, and looking back and casting upon Owasso a glance of deep reproach and grief, he exclaimed, I am a wolf, and disappeared into the woods. The end. Freaking heck. That's a lot, and that's so sad, the little boy. And the brother and sister, they both vowed that they were going to help out the brother, and then they both failed. To be fair, the sister said, like, I need you here to be able to keep him. And the brother didn't choose to be yoinked away, but he could have gone back to his brother sooner than he did. Oh well. You say hi, how you been doing? Good. Good to chill out. Yeah, I'm hoping you feel very cozy here. Hi, Jamaican Uncle, welcome in. Well, that was the end of Sheem the Forsaken Boy. So now we'll take a break. Woohoo! I already have to run another ad. This is nuts. We'll do redeems now if you have any. So far, nothing is set. And we can prep for the next story. So, does anybody have anything to request? I did a big adjust and then scooted in close. Gloves. Perfect. Okay. Let's just make sure this gets started. Okay. Gloves and then tuning forks. Oh, I just have the one. I don't know why it's I guess I wrote that one wrong. It's just one tuning fork. And I can use book. Gloves. Gloves. Okay. Let's go for it. I want to tune for it. Okay, there's our club ups. Hello, raiders! Welcome in. cat raid. Ooh. Welcome, Cat Kings. Thanks so much for sharing your community. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of people to raid in. Hi. Welcome, welcome. I hope you had a good stream. We're just doing some cozy story times. I have to run an ad soon, unfortunately. You guys are gonna have to stick with an ad. But then we're gonna read another story after some more redeems. As we're doing redeems, and there's you guys just got here, you don't have any stuffs. But let's say you can go ahead and ask for any one of the redeems. We'll go for it. I'll let you do it for free. We'll do a few of those. And yeah, you're gonna have to put up with an ad. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, don't worry about it. I meant to say this. Go look after yourself, Cat Kings. No need to stick around. I know you've got to look after yourself. Get food, get rest. Just take a breather. You put in all the work. Now you can go. We'll hopefully see you soon. We'll take care of all your viewers here. So yeah, everybody get cozy, snuggled in. I'm gonna do tuning fork, and then we're gonna run an ad, and then we'll do tappy taps and humming and anything else you guys request. Okay, I've got a tuning fork. I'm gonna set off. Here we go. No, that's very good. Okay. Hear it very well. I can't tell what this one is. What's the other setting? I can usually definitely hear it here. I'm gonna bring it down just a little bit because this will be noisy. There. There we go. Just a little quiet tuning fork. Alright, good night, Darkstorm. We'll see you another time. Take care. Eat well. Hopefully we'll see you soon. Take care. I'm gonna try the different tuning fork. Thank you for the follow, Code John. Tell me if I'm saying that wrong, but welcome. Whenever we have a new person follow, we drop some little dancey motes. So anybody want to drop some dancey motes? Welcome in. Any kind of dancey, dance away. Oh, I forgot to change. Well, I'm just gonna do a couple more little things. I'm gonna do a little bit more tuning fork. I didn't change the little title, but anyway. There we go. That's the last of the tuning forks. And I'm running an ad. I'll just do 30 seconds, and I'm very sorry, but I do have to run it. So just go with me on this. Here we go. Ad is running. And I'll say that we're gonna do tappy taps next. And then tappy taps next. And then we'll go ahead with humming. I'll hydrate right now. Thank you, Darkstorm, who is leaving, going off to bed. again, if anybody has team requests, since you guys, so many of you are new, you can totally just ask if you're curious about one and we'll do it. But if there isn't any, we'll go into story time right away. So, yeah. I guess I'll do tappy taps right now. Let me know if you want something else. Okay. Let me see. Go ahead here. Audi, thank you for the subscription. We have a tradition here that whenever we have somebody gift of any kind or sub, we drop some money, frogs. Look at the rain in money. Drop any money emotes you might have, but if you have the rain and money frogs, or if you have 7 kiwi, it's in there too. Rain and money frog. Thank you. Welcome with that. Oh. Okay, tappy taps. Hi, Devon. My brain is doing a little bit better today with the 3DO. Oh yeah, I didn't explain to my raiders. Oh my goodness, I need to do that. So everybody, my name is Raven. I am a deer woman. It's a whole thing. I'm not a deer and a woman. I'm a deer woman. You can look that up. It's in indigenous stories. But I am normally at Emerald Lake, where I'm at with my radioactive frogs and the like. But lately, just the last couple days. Oh, yes, sorry, I'm a little bit quiet right now, aren't I? The last couple days, I've been at Violet Spellcraft's Apothecary. So, if you know Violet Spellcraft, she's a witch that looks after this apothecary, and that's her big buck bunny Skrunkle over there. He's an interesting time. I don't really know him well, but since he sometimes hangs out here, he's hanging out here today. And anyway, that's the system we've got, but it also means I'm using her mic, and it is a lot. It's been messing with me. I keep hearing a echo, and it's not easy for me to get around. It makes everything sound very, very weird. But that's also why Devon said Raven. It's got Vi tucked in there if you look close. But I'm Raven. And yeah, so I'm joking that I'm turning into Vi. But I'm just looking after her stuff. So yeah, the 3DO is still tricky, and I'm not the best with using it, that's true. But I'm getting better about it. And with that, I will move on to humming. But I won't change the settings for humming. I won't use the other version because it'll be pretty loud. Okay. Hi. Hello, lady. What are you doing hiding down there? Don't sit there. I don't think you're supposed there. He's sitting on tech stuff because it's warm, I think. Kitties. Okay. Yes. All right. Waking for a long time there. Sorry. I'm not in charge. Hi, frigid. English, please. You know the rule. Don't make us bonk you. And yes, I'm sorry about the waking. I'm not in charge. It just winks. I don't know. Okay, more up. I was just about to say, I guessed it was gonna be that it meant you're late. That's what you always say. But not late. I don't keep attendance. You are fine. And Max, don't encourage that. No. Hi, Laxon. Welcome in. Get cozy. I'm gonna do a little bit more humming. Kind of cut that one short. It is. But I'm about to change to a new song. So, Well, alrighty. That was our humming. And I'm gonna go and we're going to do the next reading. We're on to the next story. It's a shorter one, but we only have about 10 minutes left in stream anyway, unless we stumble a little bit late. I can go all the time. It's okay. Thank you for hydrate. I will hydrate right now. Thank you. So, let's do the next story, and the next one is the Magic Bundle. Oh boy, okay. Nope. Magic Bundle. One-handed typing. Wasted time. Okay. There we go. We're all set up. Is everybody cozy and good to go? Okay. Okay? Okay. The Magic Bundle. A poor man called Iena, or Iena, I don't know, I-E-N-A, or the Wanderer, was in the habit of roaming about from place to place, forlorn, without relations, and almost helpless. He had often wished for a companion to share his solitude, but who would think of joining their fortunes with those of a poor wanderer who had no shelter but such as his leather hunting shirt provided, and no other household in the world than the bundle which he carried in his hand, and in which his hunting shirt was laid away. One day, as he went on a hunting excursion to relieve himself of the burden of carrying it, sorry, everything went a little bit, clicked the wrong thing. Iena held up his bundle on the branch of a tree and then set out in quest of game. On returning to the spot in the evening, he was surprised to find a small but neat lodge built in the place where he had left his bundle, and on looking in, he beheld a beautiful female. That's not the way you should be referring to this. A woman? I don't know. What do you mean by female? But sitting on the further step of the lodge with his bundle laying beside her. During the day, Ian had so far prospered in his sport as to kill a deer, which he now cast down at the lodge door. Without pausing to take the least notice or give a word of welcome to the hunter, the woman ran out and began to see whether it was a large deer that he had brought. In her haste, she stumbled and fell at the threshold. Iena looked at her with astonishment and thought to himself, I supposed I was blessed, but I find my mistake. Nighthawk, said he, speaking aloud, I will leave my game with you that you may feast on it. He then took up his bundle and departed. After walking some time, he came to another tree on which he suspended his bundle as before and went in search of game. Success again attended him, and he returned bringing with him a deer, and he found that a lodge had sprung up as before where he had hung his bundle. He looked in and saw a beautiful female sitting alone with his bundle by her side. Is this a different woman or what? Okay. She rose and came out toward the deer which he had deposited at the door, and he immediately went into the lodge and sat by the fire, as he was weary with the day's hunt, which had carried him far away. Hi, Rana. That's Big Buck Bunny Scrunkle, a friend of Vi's. Since we're here, I guess he's here too. Okay. Sat by the fire. Yes. The woman did not return, and wondering at her delay, Ian at last arose, and peeping through the door of the lodge, beheld her greedily eating all the fat of the deer. He exclaimed, "I thought I was blessed, but I find I was mistaken." Then, addressing the woman, "Poor Martin," said he, "feast on the game I have brought." He again took up his bundle and departed, and as usual hung it upon the branch of a tree and wandered off in quest of game. So he's killed 2 deer, but twice these other beings, a nighthawk and a martin woman, they're both taken them away. He doesn't eat them. Okay. In the evening he returned, and with his customary good luck, bringing in a fine deer, he again found that a lodge had taken the place of his bundle. He gazed through an opening in the side of the lodge, and there was another beautiful woman sitting alone with a bundle by her side. As soon as he entered the lodge, she rose cheerfully, welcomed him home, and without delay or complaining, she brought in the deer, cut it up as it should be, and hung up the rest to dry. She then prepared a portion of it for the supper of the weary hunter. The man thought to himself, "Now I am certainly blessed." He continued his practice of hunting every day, and the woman, on his return, always welcomed him, readily took charge of the meat, and promptly prepared his evening meal. And he ever after lived a contented and happy man. The end. A sweet little end, a good one where it's just like, oh, you gotta find the right person, and that's the real blessing, not just that he's got food. But that's so cool. Okay. Alright, I'm real close now. Bye. Okay. That was our last story. It was real quick. But now we can do any redeems for the rest of the stream before we raid out. And I'm okay to stick around a little bit later than 8 p.m. So, do we have any redeems right now? Or any requests from people that don't have quite enough ribbits? Very happy to do re-redeem to the ribbitless. Water jar, you got it. Okay. Write down. Magic bundle. I like to keep track of which stories we've read, especially if I read them out of orders. Let's do water jar. I'm excited. Okay. We are not humming. We are water jar. Okay. Okay. I gotta get them in while you can. I might be able to have a water jar once I get back to the lake. We're gonna find out. Oh, I brought down the. I know what I did. Oh, okay, here we go. And I'm hoping that the new mic will allow for heartbeats, but we'll find out. It's so silly. It sounds so silly. Okay, and now heartbeats. Let's do some heartbeats. Well, wait. Very loud typing. I hope you don't mind that. Okay, hold on.
I had to adjust before you started because it would be very loud.
Okay, I'm gonna try your recommendation there, Devon. Let's see what it sounds like. I don't think it sounds much different. Maybe if it was higher up, like on my throat. It just sounds. What? I have someone making way too, but they're on their starting soon screen. Oh well. I thought I'd hang around a little bit anyway, so no worries. I have something else I thought I would do anyway. Hold on for 2 seconds. Okay, we're gonna wrap up. She back. She's not like in the mic right now, but she's here. Yes. Just a little bit. Oh, hi, Strawberry. Hold on. Okay. She doesn't like the weird ears in her face. Not a favorite. Sometimes she'll snip it, but she like want it in my face. Yeah, okay. Let's try one more time. Just above the head. Not in face. Okay. If you continue, stay right there, lady. Okay, scissor snips. I cannot move enough to change the thingy because I has cat on my lap. But yes, scissor snips, okay. Like it's picking it up, so I'm gonna go ahead with this. Okay, there is our scissor snip. Okay, are they ready for us to ring it over yet, Fit? Tell me when they're ready to go. Good. Just little snippets of kitty purr. Just little snippets. Okay, well, Fet, I've got a cat on my lap. Can you do that instead? Let's copy the raid message though, everybody. Get that copied up. Okay. Message is copied, ready to go. Thank you everyone for joining us. Everyone that's new and just raided or new follow. Thank you. We'll be back tonight reading SCPs. Oh, it's great to meet you too. I'm excited to read the rest of that SCP we didn't finish yesterday. So, yeah, I'm ready. Excited. Okay. A little bit more. Alrighty, let's go. Let's raid away. Alright. Thanks, everybody. Let's go. Where's the... There it is. Still finding things.